This episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
This is Bruce Kalman from Union Restaurant in Pasadena, California, and you're listening to Shawn Rosler on the Coarse Grind Podcast. Get in there and listen good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode number 76 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With you as always, host, creator, Shawn Rosler. How is everyone doing this evening? Hopefully safe, post the apparently apocalyptic storm that tore through the area. You know, again, listeners in and around the area, I hope you're all doing safe. Some are still without power, but I'm sure that'll be back momentarily. So just a quick word there. Hope everyone is all right. But again, episode number 76, let's get rolling. You know, there's times where life proceeds as you might expect it. Slowly but surely, gradually improving with time. Maybe it's a skill, a sport, or a hobby. You don't really think about it too much because the gradual nature of the change doesn't really strike you as that remarkable. But then there's things like, I don't know, what this podcast has done for me. It has and continues to provide inspiration, knowledge, and best of all, folks I refer to as maybe, just maybe, friends, distant though they may be. So on Mother's Day afternoon, as I was reading through a certain cookbook by a certain chef, and I came across a recipe for, and I quote, the grill bitch's nuts, I knew there was a former guest and, dare I say, culinary amiga I just had to reach out to, and reach I did, and there's more story to tell. For those of you who missed her first time around, shame on you, episode 39 in case you're wondering. Tonight's guest is indeed affectionately referred to as the Grill Bitch in the best-selling book Kitchen Confidential, and is a native New Yorker. Having grown up in the family restaurant business, it was only natural for her to attend and graduate from the Culinary Institute of America, and to run the culinary gamut, in a host of New York's finest restaurants. She did her due diligence in multiple departments behind the scenes at 21 Club, Union Square Cafe, and numerous other eateries in New York City before she was primed for her own chef endeavors. After years of acquired experience, she reunited with longtime friend and co-worker from the past, Anthony Bourdain, hashtag perhaps you've heard of him, though through whom the Grill Bitch came to life on the pages of his acclaimed novel-turned-television series Kitchen Confidential. Having built a relationship of trust and merit, our guest was asked to become Bourdain's exec assistant, a title that evolved into her presence in production on his television show No Reservations. She's worked for Bourdain as his executive assistant as well as a production assistant also on No Reservations. And if that was not enough, now she comes to me today with this hot new topic, which I can't wait to delve into, My Lucky Noodles. And only God knows where the future is going for this fine individual. The best part to it all is that this episode happened with a couple friendly texts, complete with a pic of the recipe that I was looking at. No shit, I'll post a picture. Some parenting stories and some calendar alignment. A far cry from the near panic I experienced every time I spoke to guests previously, let alone good friends of one of your culinary superheroes. So I'm so glad I've made it here, and even more glad that our guest did tonight as well. So let's bring her on. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, our guest this evening, the Grill Bitch of lore from all things Bourdain, Chef Beth Aretsky. How we doing, ma'am?
Hello, Shawn. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic. I know we were talking a little bit before we lit this thing up, but again, truly and honestly, you and those like you make it easy to enjoy culinary. It's all things culinary, I should say, but then in addition, culinary personas. I think there's so much plastic and so much fake around a lot of celeb-type human beings, but it makes it very easy to not only like, but to inform you that I just tore a bag of beef jerky out of my cat's mouth and not feel like a dick for mentioning it. So there's that. So again, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for taking time out of what I'm sure is your busy schedule that I cannot wait to hear about. I really honestly can't because I'm a big noodle fan. But more to come on that. Folks new to the show, folks with shitty short-term memories like yours truly, starters, mains, and afters. Starters, we talk about where the chef came from. Again, if you want to hear the same story, go back and listen to 39 again. We're going to tell a little bit of it here. But mainly, we're going to look at the mains, where the person is at today, where the artisan is doing with their life right now. And finally, afters, a little bit more off the cuff, a little more irreverent, but no one's ever been injured in now 75 episodes, this being 76, one can only tell. So without further ado, let's step in the Wayback Machine, Beth, and let's talk about where and what you grew up eating.
I grew up eating a combination of Jamaican home cooking and 1970s dinner party food from, like, Good Housekeeping, or maybe Julia Childs even. I think my mom went as far as Julia Childs.
Okay.
So we had lots of quiches and prime ribs and Yorkshire puddings and creme brulees, and then I had oxtail and plantains also.
Ooh. That sounds like a combination I could get down with. That's not that bad.
Yeah, and always a warm Budweiser that my nanny would have after dinner with a big belch followed afterwards.
A warm Budweiser. Is there any reason behind the warmth? Like, how did that go down?
Yeah, it's for helping digestion somehow. That's what she thought, and seemed to work for her.
Well, I'm gonna have to give that a go. I'm not gonna lie. I'm okay with warm beer.
I'm not sure if I'd like to do that. The warm thing gets me. I don't know. I like everything really kind of cold.
No, I can
I
can tolerate it.
Raised up on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you know, growing up, were you drawn to it, or were you a bit more of a picky, selective eater?
The only thing I didn't like was spinach and green peas that my mom thought I wouldn't see in my mashed potatoes.
Oh, she went for the ninja peas move.
She thought I was colorblind or something.
What?
Yeah, like I wouldn't notice the green in the mashed potatoes. They're white. I'm like, you can't hide green balls in a white blob of potatoes.
If that's not a bumper sticker tomorrow, I'm going to be pissed off. You heard it here first. If you can't hide green balls in a big blob of white. I think it sells. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you. All right, let's work on it.
Add it to it. My Lucky Noodles.
Get it going.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like 1970s gourmet cuisine dinner party stuff.
Right on.
I'd sit upstairs and listen to their parties and not know what the heck they were talking about, but exactly. I did enjoy the food.
Right on. Well, I mean, with that side of the 70s dinner parties, because anytime I hear, 70s dinner party, my mind goes to the Jell-O mold that's shaped like a fish.
Well, my step-grandmother was notorious for her Jell-O molds. She did, like, the 3-layered ones and 3 different colors, and as she got older and closer to the rainbow, she put miniature M&Ms in the Jell-O, which left this really disgusting milky trail through the Jell-O. When you cut through it, you just looking at it, you just didn't want to eat it.
I've got to go on record here, and I think I have before. I think a few select people know this about me. There are very few culinary supervillains that I have, and Jell-O is literally the number one spot. I can't do it. I can't do kudzu. I can't do anything with that texture. I'm done. I can't do it. I don't know why. So anytime, oh God, and now M&Ms might be ruined for me too. Thank you for taking care of that for me.
Oh God, it was horrible.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll never eat Jell-O again unless you're in the hospital.
Yeah,
then that'll be your key. Like, I'll take the Jell-O, please.
I don't know. Even then, I might starve. They're gonna keep you alive. So it's like, all right, look, here's your challenge. Right. I'm not eating shit. Let's go.
Challenge. It's a YouTube challenge.
That's right. Challenge accepted.
YouTube challenge.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So again, not that picky. Not that picky. But looking back at those dinner parties and really even beyond, even to like Sunday dinner, what have you. Are there any dishes, any plates, any meals in general that stand out to you that, like, kind of tug at the heartstrings a bit?
From home?
Yeah.
I'm going to say again, I think it's the prime rib and Yorkshire pudding.
And that was Mom cooking that, right? Yeah.
My mom made that, and I was like, oh my God, what is this pudding stuff? This greasy, yummy, she did it in the roasting pan, not in, like, puff cups, pop-over cups.
Oh, man.
So she did it right in the pan with the grease drippings, and it was so good. And some parts were big and puffy, and other parts were kind of thinner and softer.
Yeah.
And it was just, all of it was so good. And that's the one thing that really stands out from my childhood.
Yeah. And like, it doesn't it almost feel clinical?
But as I got older, I don't like it.
Oh, you don't like it anymore? I was... No. It's the eggy aftertaste that I don't like.
I prefer panna cotta in that Jell-O form as to creme brulee.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I think almost to an extent, and you would certainly know this far better than I, but I think one of the allures to memories like that is that, when we look at it professionally, when we look at it critically today, we're almost looking at the food in almost a clinical arena. Whereas back then, or back in our childhood, back when we weren't armed to the gills with knowledge of what a dish should be, there was almost this artistic liberty to it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I know my mother definitely followed a recipe. She was not she was a cook by numbers cook. And I'm not really a cook by numbers cook, and maybe that's a fault, or maybe it's not. I don't know, but that's just how I cook. Some people paint a specific way, and I cook my way.
Yeah.
Some people, I don't generally write recipes when I cook a meal for my personal clients. I just cook. They tell me what they want, and I cook it. And sometimes I'll look up a recipe, and I'll just see what the ingredients are, but I'll do the technique myself because I know the technique, and I just look at what the ingredients are, and I do it to my own taste.
Yeah.
Or what I think they'll like.
Yeah, and I mean the experience that you bring to the table, obviously, and let's not minimize that in the slightest. I mean, culinary genius, thy name is Grill Bitch. You can kind of pick that up, and you can kind of roll with it. And that's such a skill. That's like, the improv jazz artist that can sit down with a group they never played with before and just pick up. I mean, I think that's literally the culinary version of improv jazz.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's something actually I also read on Barry Wine's Instagram heading that he does not cook by recipes. And that was one thing that I had to lie to my old, former 19 years ago plus private chef gig, where she would ask me, well, where'd that recipe come from? And I said, my head. And then she was kind of skeptical, and then she would really prefer I'd say, oh, Jean-Georges cookbook.
Yeah.
Yeah. It always tasted better in her mind if I said, oh, it came from Jean-Georges cookbook, or it came from Danielle's cookbook, or, any of the heavy hitter chefs at that time.
Right.
That seemed to make it made the dish more exciting, even though it wasn't from any of their places. It was mine. That's
crazy.
So, it's all in your mind.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely.
A lot of it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you look over, and I'm not saying people to go and binge listen to 75 episodes right now. Of course, if you wanted to, fair game, fine, do what you want. I think I would find the common thread to be, everyone's favorite memory isn't about some, tight-ass suit and tie, 5-star. It's something that somebody put human emotion into, human intelligence, human intuition, human artistry, really. And that sounds like your MO, like to the nines.
Yeah.
So speaking of that MO, though, is it safe to assume that Mom was the culinary impetus for you?
Yes. definitely.
Sure.
Most definitely. You know, even though my father had restaurants, my mother was the one who was cooking at home.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to be able to try some food from the restaurants that my father owned,
Mm-hmm.
and liked it. You know, it was sort of French-American, you know, but mostly American, continental cuisine, you know, just mostly steakhouse burgers,
Yeah.
the typical stuff. But
Yeah.
he had a French chef at his first restaurant, you know, so I was exposed to a lot of things as a young kid, I suppose, and maybe that has something to do with my palate or my preferences. I don't know. It has something to do with the way I am.
the way you turned out, right?
Yeah, the way
Right
I
on.
turned out. You know?
Right on. Right on.
My experience in life, you know, just what I've seen.
Yeah, and it's such a rich environment that you came up in. You know, I think there's some tales that I hear that it's, you know, oh yes, I stood Casey Thompson, we were talking about before. She had a French grandmother that was like, you know, classic trained French, blah 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 blah. You know, some people have that, and then some people have the neither of my parents cooked. I just decided, like, mine. Honestly, oddly enough, I just interviewed my mom for Mother's Day, and
oh yeah, okay.
It's fun, but it also gave me some insight. I'm as I'm talking to her, I'm realizing, like, I think having the environment where it was okay to cook was an important thing, but it wasn't like we were busting open cookbooks left and right.
Right.
You know, I frequently, my wife will frequently look at me and go, "Where'd you come from?" I said, "I don't know. I have no idea." You know,
I often ask myself the same thing.
exactly. Which planet did we come from, Beth? Let's talk about that.
I don't know.
So, what was a moment that like really set you on fire? I mean, you obviously had this rich environment that there's no denying that helped steer you towards a potential career in it. But what was the moment?
Like I think I said before, I wanted to avoid it only because I thought that people would criticize me for being, she can't do anything on her own. She's going to get in the same business as her father.
Right.
You know, like I said, I think I said before, I was into photography and I wanted to be a food stylist because I liked food and I liked photography.
Right.
So I try to incorporate both.
Right.
And that didn't exactly happen. So I ended up in the kitchen, seeing how plates were plated and learning how to cook. Still having, you know, photography as a skill, but not for sale.
Right. Right on.
You know?
Right on.
So I'm just seeing stuff being plated and getting ideas, and I just never ended up going back down that road. I ended up going more towards the culinary and cooking world, the food scene, when it really wasn't very scenic as it is now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a big thing. I think so many people today, and like even people who were, who were around during that time period, forget what a non-factor anything culinary really was for a good long while.
We have a daytime television now called The Chew.
Yeah.
And it's about food, in addition to Rachel Ray having her own show, in addition to the Food Network. I mean, it's really gotten beyond Channel 13.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Channel 4. Channel 4 down here, I know exactly what you mean. Like, I was the weird ball kid that, and again, full marks to my parents for encouraging, because they never discouraged me from it. But instead of cartoons or sports or shit like that, it was always Justin Wilson, the Cajun guy, Martin Yan.
Yeah, I love him.
Fucking Julia Child.
Tabasco.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Oh, how you going to measure a teaspoon? Let me show you how to measure a teaspoon. And he did it, and it always pissed people off because he would measure a perfect teaspoon in that chubby little nub of his. And it was fantastic, though. And I still, to date, when a teaspoon's called for, I don't reach for anything. I just center of the hand. It's close enough. But so like you said, though, beyond Channel 13, beyond Channel 4, beyond PBS, there was nothing.
Right.
Until really...
It wasn't a celebrity thing.
No, absolutely not. Food Network, even in its, in its infancy, and you're probably familiar because it happened right there in New York. When it was first coming up, I actually had David Rosengarten on, and that was cool for me because I remember watching Taste and being just thrilled at this because I'm like, wait, it's late night TV, but it's cooking. It's how to make a perfect BLT. Like, come on, man. What is better than that? Everyone else is watching Saturday Night Live. I'm like, okay. And then it would go off the air, remember? Like, they wouldn't have 24-hour programming. And then fast forward, and here we are today. So it's amazing. It's amazing to think. So you were clearly an innovator,
I actually even did a infomercial with Robin Leach for his flavored infused olive oils, which I don't think sold very much at all. And I was the chef preparing the food for his commercial while he asked me some questions, and, the cameras were rolling on me, shaking the pan and adding this and that to the pasta and the oil, of course, and it was just ridiculous. But I'd get phone calls from my high school friends at, 2 or 3 in the morning saying, I'm at this Hotel 69, or 59? Is it 59 or 69? I forgot. Anyway, I'm in this hotel room, and I'm watching TV, and I saw you and Robin Leach doing an infomercial about olive oil. I was like, yep, that's me.
Wow.
So, yeah. That was one of my first, visions of, experiences with TV and Food Network with Robin Leach when he was actually, I think one of the starting partners of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. So how, shit, I don't want to say how long ago was that, but like, ballpark?
At least 1996.
I was going to say.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. See, that's why we do re-interviews, because I didn't know that from the first time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Crazy. Crazy. He was picking peanuts out of his mouth in between takes.
Oh, stop. Really?
Charming.
Oh, God.
He's a real charmer.
The accent can only do so much.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah, Lifestyles is gross. All right, so try as you may to avoid it. You ended up in it. Fast forward. Here we are talking again today, friend. So I'm going to sidestep a little bit of the typical, hey, what do you do? Where do you draw your inspiration from? Let's dive right into it, because I got to know about My Lucky Noodles. Talk to me about this. How did this happen? How did this come up?
Well, I moved from Manhattan after 25 years of living in a studio apartment. My family dynamics changed, and I have my 10-and-a-half-year-old daughter, and we moved ourselves up to New Paltz via invitation from my life partner.
All right, right on.
So I said, okay, I'll move up here. And I hadn't been out of the city for 25 years. I've been in that apartment for 25 years. I move up here, and it's kind of shocking at first because there's no hustle and bustle.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see people, you see people.
Yep.
If you don't want to see people, stay in your backyard. You may see peripheral people.
Yeah.
But they're not constantly like Dave Matthews amps,
Mm-hmm.
They're not in your face every second, every day.
Yep.
There is no such thing as privacy in New York City.
Right.
Which is something that you have here.
Oh, totally.
Which is really nice. I really like that. And so, let's just say my boyfriend, because I hate saying significant other, and he's not my husband, and I don't know. So my boyfriend.
My guy. My guy works. Yeah.
Yeah. So my boyfriend has this concept, has this concept called My Lucky Noodles. Mm-hmm. And he had a food truck last year with a partner, and it didn't exactly work out as well as he thought it was going to. And then once I came up here and we talked about possibly starting it up again, I said, sure, why not? Because when I moved up here, I didn't have a job.
Right.
And I was just acclimating to this whole new lifestyle and getting my daughter situated, my 10-and-a-half-year-old daughter situated in her school, and driving a car and owning a car after not having one for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, just learning different way of lifestyle than I was used to living.
Yeah, you almost have to slow down a bit, yeah?
Oh, yeah, slow down a lot. But anyway, he had this business, and he had a food truck, and he had to sell, he leased it to try it out, but the partner just didn't work out with him. And so now that I have him in the picture, we are touching back on this concept of his, which is a ramen noodle fast casual concept, almost like Ippudo in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a teacher at the Culinary Institute of America for 23 years. His name is Michael Pardis. And so he's been working on this concept for about 7 years, and it's only been running for about 3. But we've got a pretty good business plan put together, and we've been called upon. We didn't sell ourselves out, but people have been seeking us out to do pop-ups at their places.
Nice.
So last year we did pop-ups in Woodstock, New York at a beer specialty, a specialty craft brewery.
Yeah.
In Woodstock called Reynolds and Reynolds, and we also did pop-ups at a hard cider place called Bad Seed Cider.
Ooh.
In Highland, and they also have a place in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're doing great. They're doing great, and that was awesome. So that's how I got my taste into this whole pop-up thing. So it's all new to me because it's all Asian cuisine, which was never really my specialty, but you just show me a piece of paper, I look at it, and I can make it.
Yeah, you can swing it. You can pretty much swing anything, like we were saying before, Not everyone's paint by the numbers, but, if you can paint from your brain, you can paint by the numbers.
Yeah, this had numbers.
Yeah.
So I did actually try to follow the numbers first, and then I, improvised where I felt I could.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could probably branch out, given you have a little bit of experience.
Yeah. Yeah, and, I come up with some of the ideas, and, we bounce ideas off each other's head, and we work very well together. And it's hard work, but it's very rewarding at the end of the day.
Sure.
Certainly. When you make people happy and people are requesting you to come back and do another pop-up, you're like, yay, okay, they want us.
Yeah. So any plans for it to go beyond pop-up, or is that just the model that you all want to stick with for the moment?
Well, we're starting with that, and ultimately we'd like to branch off into maybe 3 food trucks, have them spread out in various locations, and then maybe have 5 or 6 kiosks where people can, along maybe the railroad, Amtrak, where people get on and off, and they stop off at Poughkeepsie and grab a bowl of ramen and go home for the family, instead of going to Burger King and getting the family pack meal.
Oh.
Come and get 4 different ramen bowls and whatever and go home.
Exactly. And I'm just...
we're also doing our own beverages, really cool stuff like kaffir lime, rimmed sakatinis with lychee and sake.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm scrolling through the pop-up menu now, just on the site, and I mean, here's the thing. I think Gordon Ramsay said it. I'm sure other people have said it. It's that people tend to f up menus by like overcomplicating them. Like I'm looking at this. It's one page. I'm looking at it. My mouth is going ape shit right now over everything.
Yeah, I'd have to actually say that there's really not one bad thing on the menu, especially since I make most of the stuff except for the main broth.
Yeah.
The base broth I don't make, but I make the wonton, I make the Malaysian broth, I do everything else other than the main base.
Oh my God. And see, look at it now.
I make the wontons myself. I make the wonton mix. I should be making kreplach according to my religion. But I'm making Chinese wontons.
I love it. I love it. I am blown the hell away. And you know, admittedly, I like to do my homework, and I thought I did, but I just went from the pop-up menu now to the catering menu.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Like, come down here to Pennsylvania now.
You never know. We may be there once.
Oh,
we
my
get a
God.
shot.
Please do. Please do.
You know, we could even do a pop-up there if you know anybody.
Oh, my God.
Depending how far away it is.
Well, it's a university
and if we
town.
Really think we could pull in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then, yeah.
Oh, my
I mean,
God.
That's why we're here. I mean, we've got SUNY New Paltz. We've got college kids. We've got professors, teachers. It's a very eclectic group of people that are in this town, in this village of New Paltz.
Oh, I guarantee you. You know, given the nature of the university, and it's not like a massive one, but I guarantee you, if you set up, you would clean the hell out. This is crazy.
Yeah, and it's not very expensive. It's approachable. It's, you know, I think price friendly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's over the top. I think there's a little bit of something for everyone. We're trying to hit up the vegetarian, gluten-free people because there are those people around here.
That's right.
So we definitely want to cater to that audience and not push them away and make them feel bad for being who they are.
That's right.
And, you know, just because I like meat doesn't mean you have to.
That's exactly it. And I'm actually looking at that now. The vegan broth from shiitake, kombu, dashi, and coconut milk. Like, I could be down with that. That's see, yep. Vegan
and
gets such
it's actually good, even if you're not a vegetarian. It's really good.
Yeah.
You know,
see,
so you don't have to be a vegetarian to like that one.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? It's all really good.
Yeah, and it always tends to
but
seem to like fall to the Asian culture. Yeah. It almost always seems to fall to the Asian cultures to make the vegetarian vegan approach like not only tolerable but palatable, like beyond words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very important. That's where the umami factor comes in.
Ah, the umami. My mom thinks I'm pretentious when I say that. She's like, "What the hell's umami?" I'm like, "No, I'm not saying umami. Like that would be weird. I'm 41.
Right.
It's umami." But totally.
Right, that's what your friends said back in high school.
That's right. Umami.
Umami. Whoa.
But I mean, this is
yeah. No, I think that's. And there's a lot of room for that in Asian cuisine, I think, as opposed to, you know, the Borscht Belt food that I was supposed to be raised with. But,
right.
Yeah, I think the closest thing I got to that was bagel and lox on a Sunday morning, you know.
Right on.
Yeah, the most we had was horseradish to liven things up a little bit with the gefilte.
Watch out, it's getting a little crazy in here.
Yeah.
Getting a little crazy in here. Man,
yeah, so
I can't get over.
We're trying to make this a business. You know, we're trying to make a go of it, and hopefully it'll take off. You know, with these pop-ups and where we're located and the clientele that we have access to. You know, it's not just students; it's farmers, it's politicians, it's artists, it's other chefs. It's a little bit of everything, and you know, we're hoping that someone with some deep pockets says, "Hey." This is awesome, and we really want to, like, party on with you guys and make this happen.
Yeah, well, I'm sure as hell going to do my part as, you know...
Thank you.
As both colleague and friend, I'm going to make sure this gets some pump behind it, because, one, this looks delicious. This is exactly how I would
It really
eat.
is. I mean, people around here especially... Mm-hmm. They've never had food like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's made really. The quality of the ingredients is great, but it really, honestly, is made with love. It's not a job.
Yeah.
It's something that I take pride in, and I want. If people don't like it, I do take it personally.
Yeah.
You know, it's my name. It's my name. It's my boyfriend's name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to disappoint him. I don't want to be embarrassed. I want to give them the best product possible.
Right.
So I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this endeavor.
Yeah, and I could imagine nothing less coming from you, to be perfectly honest. So that's pretty clear.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, really. You know, I mean, I roll out wontons like nobody's business, and you know, this is not my cuisine. This is all something that I've learned new. You know, I mean, this is generally not my fallback I was always kind of continental and Mediterranean.
Right.
But I'm learning a ton. I've
Right.
learned a lot. And I continue to learn while doing it. So it's fun and it's very rewarding.
Yeah. I am so, like, reading parallel processing as we interview. This catering menu is staggering. Your pop-up menu alone is staggering. Szechuan tofu, Szechuan style, the tofu pork stew.
That's the best.
Holy shit.
It is so good, it'll blow your mind.
Wow.
No one else has it. Do you see? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people have it.
Yeah.
And it's a very traditional dish. And we've had people from China. And when you say mopu tofu, I always fuck it up, but anyway.
Mapo tofu. Mapo tofu.
I know how to make it. I may not know how to
You might not know how to say it, you know what I mean?
But anytime we make it, people love it.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you have this, and they take one bite, and they're like, oh my God, this is so good. I've never had anything, no one's ever had anything like it.
No.
You haven't had anything like it in New York City?
No.
Unless you went to Szechuan House. Szechuan House has it.
Yeah.
I saw one posted on Instagram once. I said, they're getting hip to that. We better get on this.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, oh my God.
Yeah,
I mean, this just
everything is really good. I can't say that when people ask me, what do you recommend? I say everything.
Yeah. Try one. One what? One of everything.
Yeah, exactly. Try one of everything. And then there's the matcha miso. Mm-hmm. That's really good too.
I'm looking at the Japanese style white soy sauce broth, pork belly, egg, watercress, nori. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic. But the Malaysian blows people's minds away.
The Malaysian, which is vegan. There again, we have to acknowledge it's vegan.
I love it. It blows people's minds away. It's so flavorful. It's got ginger, garlic, kaffir lime, lemongrass, mushroom broth, coconut milk. Does it have fish sauce? I don't think so. No, it does not have fish sauce. But it's just so good.
I was really hoping you weren't asking me that question. I was going to make shit up.
No, it does not. It does not. It does not have fish sauce, but it is really delicious.
Right on.
And that one I've mastered. Like, I can do that one with my eyes closed.
And then just the wontons and noodles. Like, look, if...
the wontons are like nothing you've ever had before. You know those wontons you have in the city where it's a little piece of brown stuff with this big, thick wrapper?
Yep.
And you don't even know what that brown stuff is. It looks like a piece of someone's tobacco that they spit out.
Yeah.
Tucked into this really thick, dense noodle that's not even cooked all the way through. Do you ever
Absolutely.
notice that? I've had those wontons where they're not cooked all the way through and has a little tiny, like fingernail-sized brown speck of meat.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not ashamed to admit it that the boys, and here again we can pull back the curtain and say, like, you and I trade kid stories, and now that I have 3 boys, they're I shouldn't say their idea of fine dining, because we actually go to another one of my guests who has a very, very fine dining restaurant in town, and they sit wonderfully. They're fantastic. But if we're just doing routine, it's the Chinese buffet all day. Well,
that's cool.
Those bottom of a shoe wonton wrappers that are literally, like, I was actually you were being nice about it.
It's in yellow broth with like 3 scallions floating on top.
I'm not even talking about those. I'm talking about the ones that are just like out. And you were being nice about it. I was going to refer to them as the callus on the back of my foot. Now, I might have just ruined it for you with that, but...
No, I like that analogy. That works.
That's what I think. Like, I mean, look, I'll eat them because it's like, I'm here. I'm going to make the best of it.
Right.
But for fuck's sake, there's got to be better, and it sounds like you've got the market cornered on better.
I make them, so I'm going to tell you they're really damn good.
Man.
They're really good. They're like no wonton you've ever had.
Oh.
And you can do it with any filling, but, it takes time and love, to make these things.
Well, that's exactly what we were saying before. It's that human element that is so missing from
And
things.
I want people to like it. Yeah. I want them to come back and say, that was the best goddamn wonton I ever had. I want it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the fact that you're offended if they don't like it. Yeah, wonton crack. There you go. There's the next line. I like the fact that you're offended if they don't like it. I like that a lot, because I think we place such a value on, oh, well, we can't be upset if somebody doesn't. Fuck that. If I'm putting my soul into something, I'm going to go in the corner and cry a little bit if people don't like it.
And I'm going to figure out a way to make it better.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to go and cry purposelessly, but...
Right.
It hurts, and it should. Like, I don't like when people don't like my stuff.
You're putting your heart on a plate and giving it to them. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I guess it's similar to a lecture or something, and people either like it or they don't. But this is food. This is something that's nourishment and pleasurable, and an experience that you should enjoy.
Yeah.
And I know that when I go out, I certainly like to enjoy my experience, and I hope to God that I like the food. Because when I read the menu, and then I get something that is not what I read, and it's something completely different. When I read, it's, chicken wontons with watercress and a fried egg. And the chicken wontons are, I don't know, something different, like chicken... I don't know. It's something that you didn't expect it to be.
Yeah, some variation on the theme that takes it away from what it was you were expecting.
I hate when that happens. And I also hate pretentious food. I think we're out of those times now.
Yes.
About a plate of food that you get where you don't know where to touch it because it's so pretty.
Yep.
That you don't know where to begin. Or
you need a step stool to begin to deconstruct it because it's stacked so freaking high.
Because everything's constructed. But our food's just real, you put your face in the bowl and you lap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can eat the wontons with your fingers. They don't care.
Yeah. Well, that almost goes back to the whole Yorkshire pudding. You can describe things like that about, like, greasy and different textures. That's what I want. That's what I want. Let me feel like one of the best meals I ever had. And I don't know if we talked about this last time, but we were on our honeymoon, and we got off in Belize, and 99% of the boat went the way of the tourist, and my wife and I went the way of the dirt road, because actually it was a line from Bourdain, don't be a tourist, be a traveler. Well, be damned if we didn't head down that dirt road, befriended a homeless guy, paid him a couple dollars. He took us on a tour. I said, listen, can you show us around? He's all too happy to do it. He stops by his favorite fruit stand, gets us a bag of fruit with the money we gave him. I'm like, wait a minute, this is fucked up. And we turn the corner, and I'll never forget this. We're walking up the street, and these two, not well-intended looking gentlemen start walking towards us, and I see the guy kind of give a nod and a wink, and they crossed the street. They went away. I'm like, holy shit, did we just dodge death? But anyway, we end up, he takes us to this friend's, basement, this dirt basement with 2 plastic tables and 2 plastic chairs at each. And it's this, 60, 70-year-old woman serves us lobster she pulled out of the water that morning. And I forget how much, she wanted. It was not much at all. We ended up giving her, 20 US, and it was, It was so incredible, but that meal...
Great for her and great for you.
Absolutely, and that meal, actually, there again, I took a very Bourdain-esque, I swear that's the last time I'll mention them, picture outside of her basement, black and white, me crouched down with sunglasses on, lighting a cigarette. That was my moment.
I'd love to see that picture. Post that one, too.
I gotta find it. I'll find it somewhere, I'm sure.
Take your time. You don't have to go rush.
Yeah. I'll run right now.
It's a great story.
but so anyway, it's that feeling.
That's really what it's about.
It is. It is. You're so right.
Small vendors. It's the small vendors in the city.
Yeah.
There was the same thing, on the east side, close to Cinderella's. Mm-hmm. There was a Mexican woman selling empanadas out of a little steam table that she had.
Nice.
It was a steamer. And there was all these Mexican workers lined up to get them.
Yeah.
And she probably made, I don't know, 60 a day, and then when they were done, she was done. But that they all knew her to go there, so she was the deal. She was the deal, just like you got in Belize. You got the deal, and she's the deal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's like this
and
almost resurgence of I'm hoping culinary craftspersonship centered around food trucks and pop-ups. You know, I think we're starting, just like Amazon and eBay got commerce away from brick and mortar, I almost feel like this is getting us away from, well, I have to go sit down in a place because I'm told to. Mm-hmm. Like, what's wrong with...
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. We'd like a brick and mortar, you know, I mean, but for right now, what we've got is perfect. It's just up the street from our house. It's literally a 3-minute walk. I timed it tonight.
Yeah, nice.
And, you know, it's probably one of the nicest kitchens we've had.
That's perfect.
And my daughter, who's 10 and a half, is a major player in this business, too. She's got her own business card. She is awesome. A CFO.
What?
She's a CFO. She handles the money. She takes the orders. She does everything.
That is fabulous. I love that.
She's a ham. She gets 5% of the business plus tips.
Wow.
So she's learning about money. She's learning how to count. She's learning a lot of stuff. She's learning lots of things, life skills.
That's unreal. That's fabulous.
It's great having a family business like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really nice, and she loves it. And gosh darn it, people really love her too.
Gosh darn it, people like us.
Yeah, they do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And, you know, that's to take a step back, too. You know, the food truck and the pop-up movement, you know, I think those should be the ones entitled to that brick-and-mortar presence. Like, you should have to make your presence known without the frills of fancy candles and chandeliers. If your food can't stand alone, you don't deserve a dining room, in my opinion.
Right.
Let your food speak for it.
That's what we're shooting for. We're not looking. We're doing fast, casual ramen. We're not fine dining. Mm-hmm. This is not fine dining. What the place we're going to be at now, we're going to set up the tables as communal tables.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
And that's how you're going to sit next to, you know, there's 2 booths that seat maybe 6 to 8 people. Mm-hmm. 2, you know, on one side of either room, there are 2 deuces. Mm-hmm. There's a little bar. Mm-hmm. And then there's probably seating for 30 with the communal tables in the center, but they're not exactly set up like communal tables, but that's how we're going to set it up.
Right on.
That was the first thing I said when we went in. I'm like, this needs to be communal tables. You know what? Turn them and burn them.
I love it. I love the concept. I love the
concept.
Turn and burn.
They'll enjoy it. Don't make it too comfortable so that they're going to sit there all night. Right. They're going to eat their dinner. They're going to take it to go. They're going to have a good time. They're going to meet other people. It's going to be a social thing. You know, it'll be fun. Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun. You know, plus Michael and I both interact with the customers as well, and my daughter, you know, sometimes she needs a little help, and other times she'll insist that she's got it. And, like, no, you don't got it.
No.
Mini B, you don't got it yet.
I've got a 10-year-old. I know the feeling. No, Wes, you don't. You need help. You need help now.
Yeah, right. You need help.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be crying later.
But what a great lesson to be given her. I mean, you know, we don't have pop up a restaurant or anything like that.
Right.
But I mean, as soon as Wesley could pick up a knife, I had a 7-inch in his hands, and he was mincing garlic at 7 years old. Yep. You know, I think it's so important to show the kids that, and I think cooking.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, like why do we dumb this shit down to the point where people are afraid of it? You know, there's this gender bias. If we want to go real deep, I brought my snorkel. Put your fins on. Let's go, Beth. You know, there's still, despite what everyone wants to say, there's still this gender bias. Oh, you cook? I love the looks that I get whenever my wife says, "Oh yeah, my husband cooks."
Your wife must get. Oh, you're so lucky.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because I create food that helps our family, much like she does too. So no, she's not lucky.
Well, my daughter's been cooking since she's about 5. I've always taught her how to do stuff. She's always been interested. Mm-hmm. And when we lived in the city, she'd pull up her step stool because she was little. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'd let her crack an egg. I'd let her whip the egg. Sometimes the egg would land on the floor. And I wouldn't get mad because that's what happens when you're a little kid.
That's right.
And then she'd scramble her egg,
Mm-hmm.
Over the fire, and you learn. Either you're going to get burned and you won't get burned again.
Yep.
Or you'll get burned and you'll get burned again until you learn.
That's right. My boy learned once. Don't cook bacon without a shirt on. He learned the hard way.
Exactly. It didn't take her very long, and she really enjoys it.
Mm-hmm.
And she likes being included and participating in making meals. And, it makes me proud that I have an independent kid, actually.
You should be.
I don't have
you
to
should
get
be
up
proud.
at 7:30 in the morning and get up and pour a bowl of frosted flakes because she's inept to climb up a ladder and grab a bowl of, grab the box of cereal and open the milk.
Right.
I don't want to raise a handicapped child. I'm sorry.
No, totally.
But
And
I did tell her that when you get to college or something, and you have a boyfriend, don't tell him that you know how to cook.
Do you know?
Keep that under wraps.
Do you know that is honest to God? My wife's grandmother said that. I'll give you a little backstory. The first time I ever saw my wife, she had set fire to a bagel in the dining hall at the university, like full on black smoke, 4-alarm shit. And so I saw this. I'm like, man, she needs help. So anyway, fast forward, we end up getting married. Well, she starts to ask me, hey, how do I cook this? And I show her how do you clean a fish, how do you fillet a fish, and I'll never forget. She told her grandmother that, oh, Grandma, guess what? Shawn showed me how to cook. She goes, you screwball, and that was like her line. You screwball. Why would you ruin that? You had a good thing going.
Right. He was making dinner all the time. What did you do?
I'm just saying, but
yeah, I don't want her to be. I'm like, yeah, maybe the most you can do is boil water to make them a cup of tea.
Yeah.
But wait, just don't divulge all your skills.
Yes.
Hold them back.
Keep some hidden talents hidden.
Yeah.
Until they're needed.
You get to go out to dinner and have someone else clean up for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is nice. It's a nice thing,
It is.
We like to go out sometimes, but what happens is we're generally disappointed, which is, it's sad because we want to have a good time, but sometimes after a date night, we come home and we're like, well,
why did we go anyway?
It was nice that we were out together and that we didn't have to do the dishes and clean up, but it really wasn't worth it. We could have made it so much better ourselves. It's like that conundrum,
I say that all the time to my wife, and mind you, we don't have the combined prowess of you fine folks, but it's most of the time at the end of the meal, we'll kind of look at each other and we'll share like a little bit of a wince or something like that, and that's like the worst feeling. And like even if you screw it up at home, you're safe. Like, oh, I screwed it up at home. Well, it's my grocery bill. Fine.
Right, but you're paying more than your grocery bill for something that should be a pleasurable experience and memorable, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah. Not to mention, let's talk wine pours. Can we talk cost per glass of wine?
Oh my God, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. And that's another thing. That's like why a lot of times we just stay at home, buy a bottle of wine for ourselves, and make dinner at home.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question.
Even the cost of meat and the cost of a steak. That if I mess it up, I won't be that mad. I will be disappointed. I'm like, oh damn it, I overcooked it. But if I were at a restaurant, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm sending that back.
Yeah.
I ordered it medium rare, and it's medium well.
Yeah.
And I'm paying $30, $40 for it, or $50.
Yeah.
I'm sending it back. But at home, I'm not that hard on myself.
No.
I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll eat it. My daughter likes her steak a little more well done, so.
Yeah, but even the price of steak alone, like it kills me, the differential between going out to the restaurant or staying home and cooking off some steaks, and it kills me. The other thing that kills me too are people's absolute fear of a steak that's not like chalkboard gray. Like I'm mortified by this, and I'll admit the limited experience that I have. I was a cook at a seafood restaurant. I did breakfast and lunch, and lunchtime there would be the periodic steak order, and anytime well done came in, you gave it 2 minutes on each side, and you dropped it in the deep fryer for a couple.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, and one last dip in the deep fryer.
They took it, and that was like, I had one old codger come back up. God bless his heart. He doesn't know any better. But he's like, oh, it was the best steak I ever had. I'm like, the fuck it was. All right.
Well, that's good. I mean, I was going to say, if he complained that it wasn't well done enough, I'd be like, are you kidding me?
No, he was...
We would get those at Sullivan's when I was with Tony, and we're like, yep, fryer.
Drop that shit in.
Fryer you go.
Let it go. You know?
Yeah, you can't... You know what? If someone said to me, I'd like a can of Alpo Toast Points, please. I swear to God, I'd make it for him.
I know.
If that's what you want, I would do that. I don't care, right? I'm not, that's like my private chefing thing.
Yeah.
You know, I do that still now. I think I said that before, that I do private chefing once a week for a couple up here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they make the menu and I make their food, and so far so good. I think I've worked for them already for a year.
Yeah. And
it's going well, and, you know, they want their fish well done. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, well, that's really, yuck. That's horrible. You shouldn't have it that way. But that's how they want it.
Yeah.
They want they want everything well done.
Yeah.
And that's how I give it to them, because that's how they want it, and I want my money.
Exactly.
Know?
So, yeah, there's a fine line. Yeah.
We really enjoy a little bit of Alpo with some water crackers. Can you make us? Yeah, I'd love to. No problem.
With a little sprinkling of cat hairball on top.
Well, we have that too. You know, now that I moved to the country, we've got 2 dogs, 2 cats, and we just got an albino frog and 2 snails.
Oh, cool.
An albino dwarf frog. He's really cool, actually.
We actually had 2. We now have 1. We have. Is it the water frog or is it the out of the water frog?
The water frog.
We have it now. I'll tell you. Keep the lid on that shit because they can get out.
We do.
and then you confuse it with a fly and you accidentally pick it up and throw it away and you realize what it was after the fact.
That's okay.
You live, you learn.
Okay.
We told the boys that the frog went on a vacation. You know, it worked. It worked short term. But no, no, that country living though, that's good. That's so good for you. I'll have to.
It's so beautiful where I am. The Hudson Valley is just spectacular, and you know, it's really all season. It's an all season place.
Yeah. It's
just, you know, there's something happening all the time around here. So, you know, in the winter you're skiing or you're snowshoeing or you're hibernating like I kind of do. I'm not going to say that most.
Yep.
I like the hibernating thing. I don't like the cold. I really don't like the cold.
No.
But, you know, my daughter likes it, and she ice skates and goes skiing, and my boyfriend goes skiing, and that's okay. You guys can go skiing, and I'll stay at home and do what I do.
Yeah.
Or I'll go to Florida.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So, but yeah, living up here is really nice. I really like it. I think I've calmed down a little bit.
A little bit. Not a lot.
No, but it's just really pretty. I mean, every day you wake up, it's beautiful. It's nice to have your own yard and have your garden. I really like gardening, and I was never able to do it for 25 years until I think actually maybe I did 2 years before I left my apartment. I had like a little rooftop garden which made herbs.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's all we had. But this past year we had tomatoes and herbs and melon and cucumbers and peppers and all kinds of stuff. It was really, really cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
But this year I think we're going to be traveling. We're not going to have enough time to actually really do the garden as I'd like to. So, you know, so be it. Next year.
Yeah.
But
no,
yeah, this is sort of a new kind of endeavor for the grill bitch.
Yeah, what's crazy is actually, and I mean, you're not like super close, but I grew up in a little town called Honesdale in Pennsylvania, which is literally the northeast corner. We're about 20 minutes away from Narrowsburg, New York, Delaware River, Callicoon, that kind of action. So yeah, you're kind of in that nice country vibe. Nobody bugs you. You don't bug anybody. It just you just do your thing.
You know, the only thing, you know, occasionally where we are, we're sort of central New Paltz, and occasionally you'll have some students are a little bit noisy at night on a Friday or Saturday. And, you know, depending on what's going on and at what time it is, I'll just open the window and be like, can you just move your party down the street a little bit?
Take it a little bit over that way, please.
Yeah, just move down the street and we won't have a problem. I don't care.
Yeah.
But you can't stay here.
Yeah. But I mean, compared to what you have probably experienced in the city, this has got to be like literal Disneyland.
Yeah, well, when I go back to the city, it's really freaky because I usually take Trailways bus. I just take the bus back because I don't feel like driving to Poughkeepsie to get on the train.
No.
And the bus stop is literally within walking distance.
Oh,
so
nice.
I can walk to the bus stop, get on the bus, be in the city in an hour and a half to 2 hours if traffic is going well. But the minute I get off the bus, I'm in Port Authority. And there's a gazillion thousand people in my face.
Yep.
And all of a sudden I feel like I've lost my New York City walking mojo, and then I have to get it back, but I still have my New York City whistle for a cab. Like, that's the one thing I'll never lose.
Ooh,
I have
nice.
that. I'll always have that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no. I can get a cab, and I can run real fast. So I've got that.
That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do.
I just say, I can't believe I've lived here for this long with this many people.
Yeah. You know, growing up, small town, I've never lived in the city. I can tell you every time that we go in, we actually just went in for our middle boy's birthday. We actually saw the second to last showing of Cats at the Winter Garden. So that was cool.
Oh, that's great.
But like as soon as you hit the shoulder to shoulder, like I feel the country boy in me kind of like tighten up. I'm like, I can't do this.
I feel claustrophobic, and I just question how in the hell did I not notice this?
Yeah.
How, maybe just because I lived there for so long that was the norm.
Yeah.
And now that I'm out of it, it's like I was saying before, it's the birds that wake me up, or a barking dog.
Yes.
Whereas before I could sleep through a police car, fire engine, helicopters, sewers blowing up. It didn't matter. But here I'm like, what time is it?
Yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning. Why are the birds chirping at 4 in the morning? It's still dark outside.
Welcome to the worst about the country. Right there.
Yeah.
Like just as the sun starts to come up, and we have a farm up the road from us, and we can't hear the roosters, but my oldest gets on the bus at 6:45, and you hear them up there running their goddamn mouths.
6:45?
Oh yeah. He's done with school at 2:30, but yeah.
That's brutal.
It's rough. And then the other.
Why do they do that to people?
I don't know.
I think it's horrible.
I don't know.
But anyway.
Yeah, but through the winter, when you're standing out there in the dark, it like doubly sucks. You're like, oh my god, kill me.
Oh yeah.
Just kill me.
That too.
Just kill me.
Suddenly spring happens, and then boom, it's summer.
I'm like, oh look, it's light out at 6:45. Perfect. We can do this. We can handle this together.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
Hey, speaking of I
really like being here. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, speaking of My Lucky Noodles, you see how I did that? That was an awkward segue. Completely awkward, but it completely worked.
No, that's good.
I'm still, so you're currently looking at just the pop-up and the catering, right? That's what you're currently looking to, and again, if they're looking to find you, where can they find you? They can find you obviously at myluckynoodles.com. And then you have Instagram and Facebook. My Lucky Noodles on Facebook,
Instagram,
same thing on Insta.
And Facebook.
All right. And
they can like us, and they can see what we're doing, and we're going to be probably throughout the whole summer and throughout for however long until we get our own thing going. We will be at the End Cut on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which is at 5 Church Street, like from 5:30 until we run out, and we'll be doing our ramens, and it'll be a family affair. And
so, again, Hudson Valley style. This is why I kind of want to reiterate this.
There's nothing like it here.
Dude, there's nothing like it, really, that I know of here. And so I assume between here and there's nothing like it. That's why I kind of want to keep hammering this home whenever I can.
Well, And the other thing is that my boyfriend has been an Asian instructor. He's not Asian, but he's been teaching Asian. He travels extensively to Southeast Asia and has spent several years there.
Oh, that's crazy.
But he teaches Asian cuisine at the CIA, and, you know, he's got a lot of knowledge, and he's got a great palate, and we work very well together. So, you know, this is his concept that I'm helping bring to life with him.
How do you improve on that? You don't improve on that. That's guaranteed must have success. No question.
Yeah. Well, we're the only ramen gig in town. There's a Vietnamese place which just opened maybe last year, and they're doing well. But the service is really slow, and their food is, you know, their broth is strong. It's really good pho, but that's all they, you know, they have pho and, you know, some Vietnamese food. It's not the greatest, but, you know, then we've got a couple of Thai places which I have never been to. I won't go to a Chinese place up here, and I've been to one Japanese place up here. You know, so those are things that I kind of miss from the city, is that the luxury of having choices of those restaurants.
Yeah.
So, but there's nothing like that here, and my boyfriend, being the instructor that he is, has students from all over the world, and one of his students is the son of the owner of Bourdain Noodles in New York City.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're all over the place. And Mr. Apudo, or the owner of the Apudo, did a presentation at the CIA, and my boyfriend was there, and the two of them hit it off really well, and, you know, hopefully, you know, they gave us some pointers about our ramen, how we could improve it, and they're going to be probably supplying us with some of their stuff. You know, some of their noodles, and, you know, they may be sort of consultants for us, but, you know, we're not paying them.
No.
No, this is like, they like us.
Wow.
They want us to do well. Yeah, it's really cool.
How often do you find any kind of arrangement like that, honestly? Like, in the real world?
Well,
like,
we got really lucky.
Man.
We've been very lucky. Actually, this past year, we've been very lucky that people have been reaching out to us. Like, we haven't been having to pimp ourselves out. Like, hey, we're a ramen company, and, you know, we got the best ramen in town. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, people start calling us. We're like, what's going on? And, you know, it's like, do you want to make a go of this? And you can't say no.
No.
You have to. You just can't. You know, give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you can't not give it a shot.
No, you got to take a run at it. There's no question. There's no question.
Yep. It's balls to the wall, baby.
That's right,
you
baby.
Know, that's how it goes.
It's almost like asking a former guest to come on your show again. It's like, all right, sink or swim.
That's what being a chef is like.
Oh,
you know,
man.
we're working in the kitchen. Either you sink or you're gonna, you know, fly with the eagles. You're gonna get eaten by the vultures.
That's right. You heard it
you
here.
Know,
that's another bumper sticker.
Survive.
That's another bumper sticker. I'm telling you, you got to make these My Lucky Noodle bumper stickers. Fly with the eagles, you get eaten by the vultures.
Send me what I said. Send me my bumper stickers.
I'm writing them all down in the margin.
We'll share the profits.
You can't hide little green balls in a white mound, which I'm going to tell you, that sounds filthy. And you can't you fly with the eagles or get eaten by the vultures. Yep. They're both winners. Come on.
Well, thank you.
We're all over it. Over it. Well,
thank
hey,
you.
So I'm gonna go so far as to, you know, skip the whole afters clown show, because I don't know if you're keeping track, but we've officially beaten our previous interview on a re-interview,
wow.
So that's pretty impressive.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, it's always nice talking with you.
Oh my God, it is.
I thought our first interview was really fun, and you're fun to too, and you know.
I love that. I can't.
You always bring out the best in me. What can I say?
Oh, I love it. I wish more people bought into that. But they don't.
Well, I think you're a great guy, and I think you're really good at what you do. I really enjoy it. So.
Oh, I appreciate the hell out of that.
I appreciate that you called me and reached out to me, which very touching for me.
Oh my God, there's no question. You know, when you think, and you know, again, admittedly, you weren't just, you know, at random, but like when it's a page in a book and you realize, not only should I reach out to this person, but the story, the rich story, the way we hit it off, like there was no question in my mind. I'm like, all right, we got to pull this trigger again, and you know, again, coming up on 90 minutes deep, like clearly there's so much to be had. So I can't thank you enough.
I'll keep you posted as far as, you know, watch our Facebook page and see how many likes we get and our reviews, and you know, I'll keep you posted. I'll send you private stuff, and you know, we'll rebroach the subject.
Absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely, and you know, I gotta we gotta look into getting you over here. Which is not
and
really that
getting you over here,
far
you know,
away.
If you're ever in the neighborhood.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and there's just a lot that we need to follow up on. So we'll be sure to stay in touch.
Definitely.
But again, I cannot, honest to God, thank you enough. You are rad beyond
awesome.
words.
I love talking with you, Shawn, and thank you for having me on your show.
Oh my God, crushes my heart to hear that. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. MyLuckyNoodles.com, My Lucky Noodles on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to check them out. 845-768-2439, 5 Church Street, the Inn Court, MyLuckyNoodles.com. Be sure to check it out. And again, my guest this evening.
875-750-3669.
Hit me that one again. 875
750
3669. 3669. Fantastic.
Yep.
There would be.
Got it.
MyLuckyNoodles.com. If you are in and around the Hudson Valley, for now, because they're going places, kids, stay tuned. Be sure to check them out and make me jealous. Please send me pictures. Send the show pictures.
We'll be up and running for Memorial Weekend, too, so.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
People are off Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah, come on down.
5 Church Street. Be sure to check him out. My producer this evening, as always, has been the lovely, voluptuous Johnny Leland Robinson, the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. Be sure to check out all things. Yes, thank you. You hear that? You got a thank you from the grill bitch. You better thank me via message or text or whatever. So anyway, thank you, John, as always. Let's take a moment out and thank John, shall we? Next episode, we're going to be looking back to other guests past. Be sure to stay tuned and keep listening.